Good to go. And here we are back with the Cambridge cooking hour. So right now we're going to go ahead and form up our patties for our sliders, right? So what we have here is about 2 pounds of sirloin ground beef, more of a high-end ground beef. Again, you can use any measurement you want. Sirloin is typically 90% fat, let's do 9% meat, 10% fat. Again, you can find any type of ground beef or ground products in your store. This recipe we're doing can also be used for turkey burgers, ground chicken burgers, ground pork burgers, etc., etc. All right, so first thing we're going to do here, take out the bag, go ahead and pour it in the bowl. So here's where the fun part comes in. Here comes our math. So for every pound of ground beef, we want to use 2 tablespoons of seasoning, right? So what we have here is we have a blackened seasoning for our black and blue burgers, courtesy of Cambridge Spice Company, Chef Cecil. So I have a regular size kitchen tablespoon, so I'll go ahead and pour that on there. And again, all you're looking to do is fill the spoon completely. You don't want it to be going over the top because again, you're trying to measure as accurately as possible. Here's a tablespoon. Go ahead and drop it on top. So again, I have 2 pounds. So again, it's 1 tablespoon per 2 pounds. So I'm going to add 1 more tablespoon of seasoning here. And here's an example of how high you want it to be. Again, you're not trying to overflow the spoon, but you just want to make sure that the full spoon is covered with the seasoning. I'm going to mix it in there. Now we're going to use, we're just going to have, we have a seasoned all salt blend. Again, we're going to use 1 tablespoon of that. Shake that into the meat. Okay? So to my right, Chef Cecil is preparing some fresh diced onions. They're going to go into our food mixture. Again, make sure anytime that you're dicing a fruit, vegetables, etc., working with a knife, and make sure you use all the food safety tips we talked about in the first segment. right here, Chef Cecil is using a very sharp cleaver to finely dice the onions. He's going to add about a cup of onions into the ground beef blend, and we will, from that point, we'll go ahead and form our patties, and we'll go from there. So again, we're adding a little right around a cup. Here's what you should see in your bowl. So you got the ground beef, you see the seasoning in there, you see the 1 cup of onions, and now we're going to the fun part. We're going to mix everything up and form our patties. So you want to make sure that make sure your hands are clean, make sure you wash your hands or you're using gloves. You're just going to get in there and just work. The goal is to combine the onion blend, the seasonings, and the ground beef. You're looking to form something that's about the size of a tennis ball, lacrosse ball, racquetball. Your objective is you want to make it size. You want to make sure the bun fits securely, the patty fits securely on the bun. And then one wants a big old bun and a little bit of burger. So you want to mix for maybe about 45 seconds to about 60 seconds. And you want to make sure everything is blended in correctly, the onions, the seasoning. Here's what we have. It was delicious, right? All right, now we're going to form our package. So let's take a piece off. Again, about the size of a tennis ball / lacrosse ball. So you want to kind of play with your hand a little bit. And pat it down. Here's our first patty. 2 pounds will make you between 8 to 10 tennis ball / lacrosse ball size patties. And again, you don't have to make them into patties yet because you can. When we actually cook them, we're going to smash them down, get that nice crust on them, and then we will go from there. So that's number 2. by all means, you can feel free to make your patties larger, but your objective is to get a patty that fits safely on your bun. You don't want to have a big old patty and a little bit of bun. Since we're using sliders today, we're going to make our patties a little bit smaller than we normally would.
Chris, Chef, what is a slider?
A slider is basically a baby hamburger. So you have small slider rolls that are maybe about half of the size of a regular size hamburger bun. And honestly, they go with everything. You can put anything on a slider. We're doing hamburgers, but you can do fried fish, fried chicken, chicken tenders, shredded pork, pulled chicken, etc., etc. So those are the size buns that we'll be using. You want to make sure you keep it in between the tennis ball to the crossbar range, because what's going to happen is your burger is going to shrink when you cook it.
Nice size burgers there. Can't wait.
Looking good, looking good. We're almost done. Again, tennis ball to the crossbar size. If it's a baseball size, you mess something up.
Unless you got a whole sub roll.
So no.
You got a sub roll, you can make it as big as you want. You put 3 or 4 on a nice sub roll. That's what they call a cheeseburger sub. Put some lettuce and tomatoes on it. We call it a cheeseburger hoagie. That's the Philadelphia.
Yeah, they got those in DC too. The carryouts in DC metro area.
Absolutely.
Cheeseburger sub. All right, this is our last one.
So let's see, we made 8 burgers out of 2 pounds of meat. So I got a math question for you. Or should I say, Chef Chris has a math question for you. If you got 2 pounds of meat, how many burgers can you get?
It's a good question. So here's, you have 2 pounds of meat, we got 8 burgers, right? So here's another question we can think about. If we have 4 pounds of meat, how many burgers could we have? If I have 10 pounds of meat, how many burgers could I have? The ratio of pounds to burgers is going to stay the same, but you got to kind of use those kind of, that number knowledge to kind of work through your recipes. You can make a recipe, like this recipe we're making is only for myself, Cecil, and a couple other people, but if you want to make a recipe, you want to make patties or sliders for 10 to 15 people, all you have to do is multiply your recipe. So we will pause for a quick second, and when we come back, we'll be go ahead and frying up these hamburgers. Thank you.